I can imagine the present universe being succeeded by the ridiculous absurdity that would be undifferentiated being. In this perspective, I consider in thought what opposes one thing to another. Nothing remains, and if I still speak, it is in the immensity of whatever is nothing. As I collapse, my whole being evidently collapses into this thought, which is suddenly the death of all thought, the death of all being and of all thought. In this universal vanishing, in this failure of all possibilities, there is nothing which doesn't slowly collapse forever. But nevertheless, a chink, a fissure would remain. From this disappearance, which could not have been perfect, the universe of Max Ernst would remain, as I playfully imagine it, a fragile, useless and last caprice in the instants which will follow, ready to squander itself. As a young man, Max Ernst would have liked to become a philosopher, to study philosophy. As I situate myself at the limit of this universal collapse I have mentioned, I allow an absurd question to open up inside me. From a dissolution which develops within him, from all things, creating a universe from his fascinating work. Did Ernst turn away from this vocation that he once thought he had perceived in himself? Did he turn away from it? Not at all. Has he not responded to it in a playful and violent way? Philosophy is faced with two paths. The first is that of work. The philosopher is at leisure to successively elaborate in a detailed way the particular issues which are presented to him. Then the mass of issues in their cohesion. The other path is death. Usually, only the first path is considered, in ignorance of what a possibility of glimpsing ourselves and the world for a moment represents. Something which dissolves within us the questions we consider. However, philosophy will never be able to declare itself alien to the possibility of such a moment. Life cannot escape the perspective of death. Likewise, philosophy cannot escape the perspective of the instant when the ground will slip away, this instant in which nothing more will remain which does not slip away. The possibility of such a moment always mocks the philosopher, suggesting to him the stake which could intoxicate him. It's true, the moment is nothing other than death. Nevertheless, it is play. Being disappearance, it is play par excellence. As he mocks philosophy or talks about the death of philosophy, the philosopher sheds no tears. Such a death is the play within him that announces the triumph of the game, the powerlessness of work. Both play and death throw the possibility of work into disorder. What is the foundation of the turbulent and violent world of Max Ernst, if not the catastrophic substitution of a game, of an end in itself, for laborious work with a view to a desired result? The serious philosopher conceives philosophy as a laborious activity, and in so doing he imitates carpenters and locksmiths. He constructs his philosophical furniture, a well-oiled philosophy responding as a lock does to the key made for it. The person who recognises the powerlessness of work, on the contrary, is dazzled and fascinated by the play which serves no purpose. If he calls for the death of philosophy, the philosopher who plays sees in the locksmith a brother, but one to whom he is connected through distress. But before the inspired hill which dazzles him, he is the brother of Max Ernst. What he would like to portray, what disturbs and astounds him, the painter, his friend, portrays in the paintings. Next to this friend, he accepts being swallowed up in this collapse of the real, in which death, half glimpsed, compellingly represents the decisive move in which the world, as it ceases to exist, falls apart, where thought is only the measureless applause given to the death of thought. Max Ernst, philosopher. If one day philosophy acquired the imprudence of hilarity, could we still say that Max Ernst, creating the universe from his canvases, would turn his back on it?